Alright, so in this hopefully quick tutorial, I'm going to show how to do your UV snapshot. I'm going to grab that, right? And then, alright, so we grab it. And then typically you're going to want to have it as your low poly shell, right? And then worst case scenario, if for whatever reason your textures are kind of acting up, you could possibly also save it as a level 3, right? Smooth, right? So you kind of have to experiment. There's cases where 1 will be better. There's cases where 3 will be better. And I can't tell you exactly why, which case makes for what. You know, you just have to do by trial and error. It's hard to describe. I've had situations like that, and yeah. So I'll possibly do, you know, just do for the low poly first, and do some light texturing, and then slap it on, and see how it looks like with level 3. Yeah, I'll do that first. Leave it at level 1. And let's say also if there's some stretching, right? When you do your pressing 3 and you try to do the render, under the you select the mesh, go under the attribute editor, smooth mesh, okay, and you're gonna want to open up smooth mesh, and then the sub menu, open subdiv controls, and okay. Right. So let's say for example this one. Okay. I have this here, right? Okay. Perfect example. And if I press 3, right, it looks like this. You see, before it was nice, remember? Right? But it looks all jacked up. That's because this is a perfect example. And it's pretty important. When you open up the attribute editor for the mesh, and open up the smooth mesh, right? It's sub menu, open subdiv. It's naturally set to Maya. If you look here, Catmull Clark. Don't ask me what it is. Whatever, just don't. It has to do with the algorithm, with the mesh and smoothing, all that crap. For example, like this one, set to that. That's the default. This one, this is the default. Eyeballs, this is the default. This is the default, right? Default. Okay. So let's say you paint your textures on your as it's low poly, right? Like I just mentioned, right? But by the way, don't pay attention about what I said previously. For now, just it's confusing, right? So I'm just trying to explain it. Now, you know, let's say you do your snapshot, right? And it's at the low poly, okay? And you paint, pretend this is your snapshot and in Photoshop, and you paint really nice, and you do the low poly cage version, right? And then, you know, when you press 3, right, you slap on the texture, and then when you press 3 to see how it looks like when it's smooth, this will happen. And your corresponding textures, let's say you color it over here, for whatever reason, it gets all messed up. See, this is how weird it looks. See all that? Alright, that is because, again, going back to this, the default is Maya, Catmull Clark, UV boundary smoothing. So smooth mesh submenu, the submenu of that, which will be open subdiv controls. You want to set this to preserve edges and corners. Bam. Okay, and it should retain it. So there's gonna be some slight differences. Okay, see right here. Now at level 1, okay, let's say, you know, you do a snapshot and you color like that, right, around these areas for for whatever the hell reason, right? Like edges around here or whatnot. Then when you press 3, see what happens? It stretches, right? Before, let's say you put blue around these edges. When you press 3, that blue is only going to be here because the boundaries is not held together. See, it stretches. So in this case of this organic, if you have like really like intricate texture details, if you do, right? Oh, this is weird too. Why is it? Right, if you have intricate textures for whatever the hell reason, and it's organic, and you have to press the 3 to smush it, you're gonna want to have it press 3 and then do your UV snapshot. All right, so scratch when I said at level 1. Okay, at level 3 is just the safest bet for your organics, right? But if it's like highly detailed like this, you could kind of get away with it at level 1. Okay, see, not much. But then you're going to want to set to preserve edges and corners. Yeah, see. So there's that's why it's a little bit confusing, to this day. This one, press 3, and then go over here, preserve edges and corners. Okay, press 3, preserve edges and corners, preserve edges and corners. This one doesn't matter, because I'm leaving it as a hard edge. Because if you do preserve edges and corners, it doesn't matter. This has to be activated if you want to have it smooshed and smooth like this here, right? And then press 3. Whereas before, it does this. So you're going to want to set the preserve edges and corners. I think in my previous tutorial, I had it already set to preserve edges and corners, but yeah, so make a notation of that. I'll probably send out an email regarding that as well, like that. Yeah, so open it up, preserve edges and corners. There's almost 8 minutes. So for example, this one, right? Preserve edges and corners, level 3, and then you're gonna go here, UV snapshot, and it's gonna save by default to your images folder, right? UV Frog King, blah blah blah. You want to name it like whatever it is, right? And then it could be TIFF. You want to set it to a 2K image, right? 2K image would be 1024 times 2, 2048. If you really want to go all out, you can go 4K, which is a 4096, right? If you really want to just go to town and texturing, you can go 4K. Yeah, but in this case, I'll just go 2048. I'm tempted to go 4K as well. Yeah, with 4K you get maximum texture resolution, but the render times I'm pretty sure it kicks up as well for the file size that's to load up. But it's up to you. Go 4K if you want to go all out textures and you like texturing, right? Because it's a personal project. But if you just want to go just baseline, 2K is fine too. Yeah, 2K by 2K TIFF, or my IFF is a standard. It's just an image format. Photoshop will recognize this. So this is default. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go 4K. Screw it. That way I don't have to shrink textures in Photoshop. And then hit apply. And remember where it saves to, images folder, and this is the name. Hit apply. And make sure this is selected, the mesh. And it says here. And close. And then to show where it is, images, right there. It's already set to Photoshop. So, but for you, I don't know, maybe you might have to open up Photoshop first. It all depends, depending on the computer you're at, the workstation. And then here it is. If I go under image size, right, 4096 by 4096, right? There it is. You can barely see it, but you just do a Control Shift N, make a new layer. Okay, I'm just gonna name it to white. Grab it, dump it underneath. Press G for paint bucket. If you don't see the paint bucket, just left click and hold. Paint bucket, select that. Boom. Well, there. Here's your that layer. And then you could set it to, like, say, one of these. Sometimes you could set it to a real popular one is setting. Give me a break. Setting to, let's say, screen is another popular one, but you can barely see it, depending on the color of the texture. Yeah, or just normal. And if you need to see more of it, right? You can double up on it. Control J. See, a couple of times so you can see it really good. Then you select all of it, put it in its own folder. Control G. You know, you can lock it, and then from there you start painting on top of it. Yeah. All right, so there you have it. So you choose 2K or 4K. You know, 4K gives you more space. You don't have to scale the textures down more and possibly lose texture quality, resolution. But the render times, I'm pretty sure, will kick back up again. You know, so it's like a mix and match kind of a deal. You know, yeah. So that's it. Bye.